got in early, make sure everything was working. We'll see if anybody starts to join us. I don't get a really good sense of that on here. Let's see, can I bring this down anymore? Nope. So when you get in, if you're here, go ahead and jump in the chat. That way I know who's here, and then we'll just have some fun. So we're going to go over the website. So we'll see who jumps in here. Let a couple people come in. Go look at a few things here. Like about a 20-second lag again. Tell me, let's do here. One view, live viewers 2. I got some viewers in. If you're already on, go ahead and type something in the chat. Looks like I got one person on, unless that's me. It could be me. Talking and displaying to myself only. What else? So I've picked up on a few things. If you're watching, I can get this a little bit larger. So that way if I want to put a car in front, I can do that just a little bit easier. Of course, that helps if I know where the camera's at. Although the view, it's not that great, huh? I don't have any way to focus, so that's the unfortunate part. So one of the things I'll look at in the future is getting another camera that can be positioned in a different space here on my desk or something, and then that way I can show you guys that something with a higher definition camera, and be able to turn it on and off when we're looking at actual cars instead of the screenshot here. So go ahead and lock that back in place. Let me go look at the other one, see how that did. Just curious. Oh, there's me. Okay, you can't see all the red lines. My videos, to me, is not that great. I guess that's what you get with a cheaper camera. I'll have to look at just a camera in general. Let me go see what something like that costs while we're waiting for people to come in. Jump on the old Amazon here. Well, these aren't too bad. There's a 4K camera, about 50 bucks. So 1080p. Alright, so we just got to find a couple different ones to provide some different angles. So, but it looks like between $40 and $60. So not too bad for a 4K camera. And then I just have to see if my software will allow the showing of at least the best quality that we can put in. Bring my thing back up here. Oh, we got 2 views. So when you guys get in, go ahead and throw something in the chat. It doesn't really say who's in here. That would be a nice thing. I wonder if there's a way to do that. I got live chat. I'm trying to think of what other choices I have. What is this? So I'm using OBS Studio. And it would be pretty cool if I could see who came in the chat, who is watching. That way, like a list of people, that would be pretty cool. That way I know when somebody pops in, I can say hi instead of hoping they put something in the chat. Let's do a search for that. In OBS Studio, when live streaming from YouTube, how can I see I have a blank. How can I see who is watching? Let's see. Dun, dun, dun. How to get your YouTube live viewer count and display it. I don't necessarily need to display it. I don't know. Let's see if anybody's joined us yet. Nobody yet. Concurrent viewers 0, chat rate 1, views 2. That's interesting. It's always fun learning some new stuff here. Oh, my video looks a little better now. Well, looks better on my studio, but the image playing over YouTube. Not so great, unfortunately. Is there a... Maybe that's something I'm on. Normal, auto. No, I can only do 480. Interesting. Oh, we got 3 views. I wonder if that's just me going back and forth. Like, not watching it. Let's see what happens. No, it didn't change. Okay, maybe not. So come on in. We're gonna have some fun. Just waiting for some people to come in so we can kind of go over. I'm gonna go over some stuff on the website. Try to bring some people in. Try to entice people that what we got going on here is awesome. And see if we can work on our subscribers here on the YouTube and the website here, the MVP Hot Wheels website. See, it says I got another viewer again, but throw something in the chat if you get here. If you get in here, let me know you're here. Let me know who's here. I guess that's a better way. I don't have any way of seeing from my stuff here who's actually in. Let me see my menus. Oh, don't want to do any of that stuff. Don't want to switch account right in the middle of streaming live. So, can't wait for this to fully be built. It's probably a ways away. I'm already 20 grand into it to get this far, and I would expect another 30 grand to get it functional of the way I want. I won't necessarily have everything done on it, but I think 30 grand to have it functional with everything working, and then having to tidy up certain areas or whatnot. So anything that if anybody that subscribes, right, and you got your name up here, anybody that subscribes monthly, and all that money goes back into the website. Once we get, like I said, 50 subscribers, we'll open up the giveaway, and if there's 50 subscribers, it'll be a $50 car, right? $1 of your subscription fee will go to the giveaway. Just kind of bring that in, and then you can also purchase more tickets for cars that you really want to win, right? So there's 50 there, and you really want to win the car, you could buy another $5 worth of tickets and have 6 chances to win the $50 car. And as it goes up, right, value will go up, right? We get up to 1,000 subscribers, we'll give away $1,000 worth of stuff. At some point, we'll probably break it up so that that it can, finding $1,000 car every month might be a little tough to do without having the same stuff. But I think what we'll do is end up breaking it up and having like packages. So we'll give away, maybe some equal value stuff so that the number one winner will get to choose first, and then second, and then third, or however many we do. So we'll just kind of see how that goes. I'll take feedback on that once we get there. But if we get 1,000 subscribers, we're gonna give $1,000 worth of stuff away every month. I'm not gonna have advertisements sitting here playing on here. If I did any advertising, it would be for a local collector or local somebody selling or whatever. If people like making all Hot Wheels related stuff basically. So if you had display cases you'd like to put on there, a link to your place where you're selling display cases, or you're selling you're on your online store, and you want to advertise, like, we could do that kind of stuff as long as it's Hot Wheels related. And then it would be maybe 1 month at a time. That way everybody kind of gets a chance and whatnot. And then the other thing we're looking at is doing live streams. So if we had if we get some people that want to do some live auctions, I want to have some software built specifically for that, where the seller will be able to go in and basically put start up the live feed, but there'll be those that are watching it, if they go to bid, it'll actually show up on the screen, so everybody knows that the highest bidder is coming from the person who bid themselves, and it won't be the seller that's saying, oh, this is what I saw. Like when you look at it like Facebook live sales and stuff, you'll see that it's kind of incumbent on the person who's got to have a second line or second screen open and see who made that first bid. The software would take care of all that kind of stuff, put your name up there, put the bid up there on the screen, so no matter whether you're watching on your phone, tablet, computer screen, whatever, that it would be it would show you who's the top bidder. It would have some information like who the seller is, so if we had multiple things going at one time, you could know who the seller and stuff is and all that kind of stuff. And he could the seller could set the entry bid or something like that, but I don't think we'll have to go that far. I think just once he says what the entry bid is, right, then it'll take off, and we'll kind of go there. Plus, it'll give him, we'll try to build in software that it'll give, him a printout of what sold or how much it sold for, right? Which numbers, or so say you did 50 auctions, right? And then it won't know what the car is, because then you'd have to put all that information in. I think that'd be too cumbersome for a seller and probably drive them away from wanting to sell on there. But you could go in and say, auction 1 through 50, here's who won, and here's the winning bid. And that way you kind of have some, something secondary from, them remembering, putting it in order and all that kind of stuff, and then they could always go back and watch the video. And it would be broken up by, here's the first car, like ending bid. Like you could probably send them like a screenshot of the car and the last bid, and the name on there and all that kind of stuff. So he kind of clicked through, like, 1 through 50. All right, 1 was, user, you know, ABC, and won it for $25. And then you have a picture of the car on there to give you identification of which car that was, in case you get the order mixed up or something like that. I don't know. There's lots of ideas I have for it. So, but that's something I would like to implore with the developer and see if we can get some software like that kind of built out and put on there. So then we'd have, static, weekly eBay style auctions on there, and then we'd have live auctions, and then we would probably auction off those slots, right? Just to use that money to put into the website to further develop it or pay for the developing fees of having the auction development in that live format. So, but I said I just need to get this thing kind of going off the ground, and there's lots of ideas have swimming around in my head for the last 15 years now. Especially all those long nights spending in Cybercom, 12-hour shifts overnight in a building with no windows. So you get a lot of time to think and come up with ideas for that. So if anybody's in here, go ahead and throw something in the chat so I know somebody's here. Right now I'm just feel like I'm talking to myself, and I probably am, unless you're watching this video secondarily later on. So that's another. So live auctions, regular auctions, stuff like that is kind of what I'm hoping to get to. The locator, if you haven't come on to MVP Hot Wheels, you can go either way, mvphw.com or mvphotwheels.com. I got both URLs, take you to the same spot. The locator is where all the cars are. So you come in here, shows 6,622 cars now. You can select your category, so loose car, so 6,382 cars that are loose. I don't have a whole lot of SpectraFlame cars, but I do have a lot of information in. I tried to put in at least one car just as a placeholder for the SpectraFlame stuff, the early Redline stuff, and then that way I have MVP numbers assigned to them that are all the MVP numbers are unique, and all they are is basically the year that's on the base. 1967 would be on the base of a custom Barracuda, and then in alphabetical order, the custom Barracuda would be the number 2 car. So there's probably something custom A ahead of it, and then this is just the major variation and minor variation. That's all this is. So that's just how I keep track of it and put it in there, so that every car has a unique identifier, and keeps it together in the website. So that's all these numbers are. The order of this, when you do a search just for loose car in the beginning, is just 1967-0101. They're in that numerical order. That's all this is. So all the Beatnik Bandits that I have in, which isn't a lot, right? And then basically every car number in order from that point if you do this search. And that's how the order is. Down the road, we'll have some different ways to put the order in there. So you can search by color, or not. I won't say color. Well, you could do that maybe, but just have some different ways to kind of filter that out, or not filter, but change the order of which they're in. So let's look at all of. I don't know. Let's do gray. So here are all the gray cars that I've put in. Right, so you can search by gray, any color. You could search by any of these things. Like if I go back and pull that off, right? Pull that off. I guess we can go over that first. Any car name, of course. So got the car name, the main body color. If it's got 2 body colors, like this 57 Chevy from the NASCAR series is kind of orange and blue. You could put either one of those in there and it should come up. I just put that in there. Let's give it a test. Let's see if it's working. Otherwise, I'm going to send this to my developer. So orange should pop up. There's 271 though, so we'll see if we can find it. Actually, you know what we should have done? Put in 57 Chevy. That'll narrow it down out of all those colors. So obviously the orange there, and then this last one I just put this in information in a day, so you can see the orange now. Let's take the orange off. Let that reset. Let's see if it comes up with blue now. 39. Dang. I have to go to the second window or screen. It is not working, so I gotta get that working. So we'll get that figured out. Let me write that down. This is why I kind of go through some stuff like this. So it should be working. Second color, not filtering. All right. So, there's 39 blue cars. So, I am logged in. So I'm logged in and in a subscriber scenario for this login. So kind of separate from my admin login. And you can see here we've got these buttons that popped up. So if you just come on this and you're not logged in, you won't see these here. But these will allow you to start building out your collection list. So if we add this 57 Chevy to my collection, I know I have that red one. I've got the black. I've got that black one. I don't have the red line. Let's go up here and put that in the wanted. Alright, if we have this in here, when you start building this out, when you come in here, let me refresh this now. I said, let's refresh it. There we go. Oh, that was quick actually. Maybe I did do it. And we come down. So here's the three I just put in, 57 Chevys. And if we go to wanted, you can see your wanted. So we got a lot of wanted here. It indicates it in in red. Let's see, this is 74 or 76. So maybe around here. The other good thing that's pretty cool is we could search for 57 Chevy in here too. Fail. Oh man, it didn't show up. Let's see. Refresh. Hey, I'm gonna have another thing to work on, because that should work. Let's put something unique identifying. I think those have blue tinted windows. Dang, we're down to 75. Wheel filters, wheel type, red line 1. There we go. So that didn't work the way I wanted it to. Name, filter in wanted. Not working. I'm gonna find all kinds of stuff, and until I didn't do all this beforehand, just letting it go unscripted. But there's that 57 Chevy. So you'll be able to see all the cars that you put in here. Granted, yours will have hopefully more pictures. I'm missing ones I don't have pictures of, obviously. So, but you'll be able to come in here and build your collection. And then the other thing that's pretty cool is, you got your wanted list here. You could copy that and then send that to somebody, right? So let's say you're in say it's the email. I know it's not, but right there's the URL to that information, and all it is just the information. They can't manipulate it. They can't go in and change these. I can change mine, but they can't change yours. And then that way you could send somebody your wanted list, and they could browse that and see if they have cars that you're looking for. And then you could do the same thing with the traded. So we come up here, we can go to your trade. So show your cars that are available for trade. And then that way they can see if there's anything they would like that you have available for trade too. So lots of cool stuff into that. Some of the filtering things I got to work on. Obviously, the name part that seems to not be working, but I'll send that to the developer. But you can send those to people, and so that they can see those things and they can send it to you. The cool thing is, as long as they keep your URL. So say I, you know, save that, right? I can bookmark it or whatever, and when I go to bookmark it, you could potentially say like Diesel Mac wanted, and then when you come back to it, if you've gotten this from me, right? In this case, you could open that back up if I have changed my trade list for these or my wanted list, it would automatically update. So as long as they refresh the screen or open that back up again, it would always have their updated list no matter when they change it. But it does take a refresh, obviously, for the screen to pick it up. So another pretty cool thing that's integrated into it that we worked on putting in there. So lots of cool stuff in that regard. So, but you can, like I said, it's only $5 to subscribe. Once we hit that 50 subscriber mark, we'll open up the monthly giveaway. We'll start giving stuff away from there. I'll have I'll do a random number generator. So I'll put in everybody, how many subscribers are eligible. Different subscribers are eligible. I'll have them in a number that I'll print out. I'll put in like Excel or something. And then I'll use the random number generator which I think I have something like that saved actually. Let me see if it's saved up here. I thought it was up here. Random simple number generator. Right, so you could say, I've got 50 subscribers, lowest is 1, maximum is 2, and then it'll tell you, like, pick, and then there you go. Number 48 wins the month, right? And I go on 48, and I'd post that information somewhere. And that way, you would know number 48. If you were number 48, then you get to win. If we did multiples, right, we could say, all right, 48 won. What does he want, right? We pick another one. Number 36 would win, and number 27 would win if we did 3. So that's how we would do it initially, and then we would buy a side chick apparently ad. That's kind of funny. I got ads popping up in my video already. Dang, super popular. What's one concurrent viewer and 7 views? So that's how we do it initially until I'd have the developer create something like that. I've seen some pretty cool ones, so maybe we'll have some, cartoon looking Hot Wheels, racing down the road, or maybe that'll be one. Maybe we'll have like little boats or little planes. I don't know. We'll have something kind of cool where we can put in like, 50 of them. Each one of them will be assigned a username that is subscribed and eligible for winning, and then it would, take off in a race, and the winner, would win. So with the name of the subscriber on there and stuff, that'd be pretty fun. So, but it all takes time to build that and money to pay them to build it. So, but something to look forward to down the road. So, anybody in? I haven't seen any chat yet, so just kind of curious to see if anybody's out there watching. It says I have some 7 views. So if you're watching, let me know. Kind of jump over here to the info here. Let me see what's going on. I got 1 live viewer, which I think is me, and 6 views, which may also all be me. It's alright. It'll go on the YouTube channel. So yeah, as soon as anybody comes in, go ahead and throw something in the chat so I know you're here. Otherwise, I won't know who's here. I don't have any way of seeing that. What else? The auction house. I think was going to be probably the best part of it. Once we get that going, it's going to be for other people to use, to be able to go on there, have extremely low fees. There ain't going to be no eBay fees, stuff like that. So we'll have extremely low fees, um, and that way we can get the cars to people. We get people to sell, get people that want to buy. It'll link up, so there'll be a page. It won't be like this page. It'll be kind of a, it'll have information on, okay, what is the number one wanted car, like what car is in everybody's wanted or the most wanted list that people have created. So it'll have, the name of the car. It'll have the MVP number. That way it has some information or clickable link to it or whatever, and then the number of people that want that car, right? And then it still have a filter. So say you did want, say you had a couple cars. So let's say you had any 57 Chevy, it don't matter. Anyway, so you have a car, you filter it down to find that particular car, and you can see how many people want it to see if it's worth maybe putting on if you've got time to wait, right? So if there's like 100 people that want that car and another car has like 5 people that are wanting it, right? You might want to put the 100 wanted car on there first, and then that 100 people that want that car will get notified, which means that we'll have this into an app before we get it onto the get the auction house added to it, because that gives you all that functionality there without having to develop it separately. But so it'll notify, hey, once the seller puts it on the auction house, it'll notify the seller, and then it'll notify all the buyers that are looking for that car, and then hopefully they bid on it, right? The people that want it, the seller will get, a fair value of the car from 100 people wanting it at that point. So he'll probably, maximize how much he'll get for that car, and then the sellers, right, are being notified that the car is available. The other thing that will do is provide a value of the car. And so we'll go in and take that information, and it will port over into the car itself. So let's come in here. We'll go to 57 Chevy. And then over here on the RVP, there'll be a value in here from the auction. And this will be a value down here. And that'll be the average of that car in loose condition. This one needs an upgrade, obviously. And then popularity. This popularity from 0 to 9 is basically how many have sold against all cars, right? All the different MVP, how many of those cars have sold against every other car that's being available on there. So, a good example, like 5 years ago, the Hotbird was trending and pretty hot, right? So it might be up towards the 9, right? Or at that point, it probably was the 9 because it's probably the most sought after, car, and the price was going up. And it'll be based on a couple factors. One, the number of sales increase that there is, but then also a value increase over time. So we'll say like a 6-month value increase of like 25 to 50%, right? It's going to be part of that popularity thing of it. And then the rarity is how that car sells against every other car. So even its variations, right? And like everything. So if it's never sold, right, rarity until it sells will be a 9, or maybe nothing until it sells, right? If there's nothing, it hasn't sold. But if it's, sold one time, right, and a bunch of other cars have sold, say we sell 1 million cars, one of them is that car, right, that might be the 9, right? And for the first couple of years, I intend that there's going to be kind of a crazy, mix on here, as people are going to sell cars that are, going to make the money, right? You're not going to sell a bunch of dollar cars. Um, but eventually, I think people will start using this and have up um, any and everything. Is what I'm hoping for, and that will give us a value of those, a rarity of those cars, and a value. That rarity will also come from your wanted list, or collection list. Sorry, from your collection list. So if 25,000 people have this particular 57 Chevy in their collection, right, and it sells appropriate to how many are out there, right, then those two things combined, how many it sold against all the other cars and how many are in collection, will provide information for the rarity. So that will help give us some pretty good information and not have it kind of crazy in the very beginning where they're like, this is super rare because it only sold once, out of 1,000 cars, right? But only 1,000 cars were sold. So even 1 out of 10,000 is really not that much. I expect that like this one would sell probably 1 out of 35,000 cars, to be honest, right? Which isn't really that bad, right? But the newer stuff's going to be less rare, right? We sell more of the newer stuff, I would imagine, right, and less of the older stuff. So it will be relatively rare compared to what's going on there, but then also what's in their collection and stuff. So, but this will go in into effect once we get all that kind of stuff in there. I can go in there and put numbers in there now. That's kind of a pain to do for 6,632 cars. What we have in there? Let's pull all that out. Yeah, 6,382 cars, right? And I'm not certain on like what a purple Spectraflame, purple, Beating It Bandit made in Hong Kong is worth. So I have to go research all that info and kind of put it in there. But I'll just wait for the website to kind of take it and do it. That way, it's not wasting my time from putting in more cars because there's like 10,000 more cars at least to go put in. So, and I'm only not even halfway. So, what time is it? 4:30, gone for almost 30 minutes. Oh, what else? That's pretty much a lot of the website, other than the what's the other thing I've talked about making on here? The guide. So custom guide, you would come on here and you would be able to build your own custom guide. So Diesel Max collection, or whatever you want to call it, right? It's like it'll be you put your own header on there, and then you choose what cars go into it. You would be able to choose like the full series. So if you wanted to print out your own Speed Machines series, you could go in there and select Speed Machines. It'll post all of them, and then if you wanted it to tie in the information of what you have, right? So the collected box, if you wanted to put that in there, right? It's like I said, it's like plan on it being very like super custom. So if you had you get to choose what information is going there. So like if you want the picture, if you want a collected little checkbox, if you want the wheel type or interior or window or base or the full thing, like you get to choose what kind of goes into that. And so once you have those selected, right, you could select the Speed Machines and then select your collection, right? So what you have hit the collected button for, like on this, like that button there. And so that way you have all Speed Machines. It already has the check marks on the on there for you, and then you say, okay, that's what I want. That's all I want in there. So you have a list of Speed Machines that you have collected, and you have Speed Machines that are that you want. So that way you say yes, it'll show you what it looks like, and then small fee of the development for it. Well, that money goes back into that, but small fee, a couple bucks, and you've got that list, and you could walk around in a place if you don't want to use your phone, or you're worried about the internet being available, and finding your speed machines, I guess, that you're looking for. So, what's up, Ricky Bobby? Got somebody in the chat finally. First one. What? Um, so spent 30 minutes talking to myself about the website. that's where I am. So if you got any questions about the website, are you on there, by the way? Oh, I'm on my thing. I can't see that. Are you on? Have you been on the website? Is there? Because if you subscribed on there, or if you've at least made an account and logged in, I gave everybody who logged in the last 2 years like 30 days for free pass. So you could go in and kind of use these buttons. Like this is one I have. I think that's my friend. That's Wade's Beatnik Bandits. I don't think I have but one, maybe a blue one. That's probably what I have. But you can use these so that you can, anyways, yeah, log in the site, and if yours isn't on there, let me know. I'll write down your screen name, username, and then I'll make sure I'll give you the 30 days. If I do it now, it'll bump me out of this login on this computer, and kind of mess up what I'm trying to show. So, but yeah, check it out. Trying to get this kind of going. If we can get 50 subscribers on the website, we'll start giving away cars, $50 cars at least. If we get $100 subscribers, we'll give away a $100 car. So, but I think we got 6,000 cars on here, 6,382 cars already, different variations. So if we go in here, especially if we go into like Blackwall stuff, wheel type, basic wheels. You can see we got some of the newer reproduction of the Beatnik Bandit and Diora there. Nope, that's China. Oh, I put them on there this way. So even though this has a red line, since it's not original, I put basic wheels with red line. That way there's a distinction between the 1960s and 70s red line to this one coming out in the 90s. So, you can see I've got a bunch of 32 Vickies I got to put in because those are all that 25th or 30th anniversary stuff. 25th anniversary, I think. So, but here we get into the Warpath. So we got a couple of those. Caribou. Live 55. So, but you can go in here and choose, put that in your collection, and then when you bring this up, go into collection. You can see here I got Classic Nomad right there now, and that along with 91 cars in my collection. So that I've done on here. This is my play around account with a subscribed account basically But you can see here, these should all have, well, that one doesn't have a picture. I got to add that picture. I got that car sitting on the table. Oh no, that doesn't have a picture. That needs to, I got to add that picture. It's in a playset. That's why. But you can see, all these will have pictures. Whereas here, I'm obviously missing pictures from those France cars right there. Some more. So, but play around with that and let me know, yeah. Whew. So, anyhow, trying to think what else. I kind of talked about all the stuff I'm hoping to get onto the website for the last 30 minutes. I don't know if I want to go over all that again, but if there's ideas that would help make you want to use the website, like let me know. I have the Facebook group and I put out information on there, and it's kind of interesting. I don't get a whole lot of feedback. Like, I know everybody wants a good Hot Wheels website, but they just want it to exist. But they don't want to tell anybody what would be good about it. what would make it good for them. Um, so it's kind of funny how that works. But hopefully you enjoy going through here. I know I don't have a bunch of newer stuff, right? But all these, all the Blackwall stuff is pretty much in there. There's some um, international stuff that I'm not like all the Leos. Pff, I don't have all Leos in there. Like that is a lot. But all of the U.S. stuff I have in there. The only thing I'd have to add for Blackwall stuff right now from the U.S. is the rest of the steering rigs. I need to kind of get on that because I got most of those, so I could put those in there. Um, but all of the Blackwall stuff from the U.S. other than those information should be in there. And like 95% of the Mexico stuff is in there, 95% of the French stuff is in there. All of those 24 Italians information is in there. So it's just the Leos, man. There's just so many of them. Like even if you do like a search, if we go on YouTube, right? Be curious which one it pulls up for me. It's on mine. And do like Hot Wheels, India, Leo, anything like that. Alright, when you're looking at somebody's picture, here's a good example. Look at this. So, without moving the thing, you've got 3 McDonald's cars sitting right up front, and that Camaro on the left, I've never seen that. This is the first time I've looked at this. So that Camaro right up front with the McDonald's, like, never seen it before. I've seen the Ferrari, both Ferraris, the Testarossa and the F50, but I've never seen that one, that Camaro that way. There's a second wind, looks like it's orange with black stripes on the far left. That's kind of interesting. He's got a wheel loader back there. I'd be interested. I wonder if that's just from one of those like collector's cards, but it still has a Malaysia base on it. He's got a, what else we got back there? Doozy. But when you're looking at stuff like this, like there's almost always something new that I've never seen before, and you're like, dang, there's another. So putting the Leo stuff in there is crazy. Let's see. Here's another. That's mine. So, how about in here? Anything crazy on this one? He's got a interesting Porsche or up front 928 there. If that's an actual Leo, that looks like an Italian though. That might be the Italian one. No, that wouldn't be an Italian. What is that? See, I don't know. There's so many variations out there. Like, I'll be putting that in forever. There's another one of my videos. There's Monty Hot Wheels India. There's that orange second wind there. See if there's anything else. Now we're getting into just regular. There's a Power Command, a Leo Power Command. He's got a 57 Chevy back there also, and a tough Ferrari F50 in the back right. So, yeah, here you go. Here's a little, what do they call that? Something. La car. I don't know why I can think of that. La car with the 95 from the Porsche Tampo on it. Like, again, that's something I've never seen. So, the Leo stuff is crazy. So, trying to get all that in there. And if you come in here and we reset this and we go Leo on here, this will bring up all the Leo stuff that I have in there. So I've already got 319 Leos on here, and there's probably another 500 to 600 easy left to put on. So that's the only one that's kind of crazy. But if you come in here and do like France release, 141, like I said, that's almost everything that they have, with the exception of what I am missing is the steering rigs on that one. Also, I got to put those in. Um, so that's probably the 5% because everything else is in here. So still missing a bunch myself. And then if you do like Mexico release, 166 put in so far, and I would say the same. We're probably about 95% of those are in here. There's a couple castings I need to add on here. And you see I don't have as many of these. I feel like I have more than that, but apparently not. But some of these are expensive. So there's one. And I got, variations, let you know like small or medium and large and small and medium wheels for different stuff. So most of those information is in there. Of course, I don't have pictures for everything because I don't know them all. So the Blackwall stuff is mostly in there, with the exception of the Leos. And I sit down every once in a while and go through a casting and see what I could find and put that information in. So I know there's some guys out there like James has a huge Leo collection, and he said he'd help at some point. So once I get ready to kind of go through, and he has time also, right? So that's a lot. He probably has 300 or 400 at least. So I'll have we'll sit down and start putting that stuff in, so that we can get that a little bit more robust. But there's no really good Leo guide out there. Like if you did a search for Hot Wheels Leo India, right? There's really no good place to go to find, like, here you have the wiki page, and they've got a list of cars. That's there, right? They don't have pictures either, but they've got quite a few things, but it's not exclusive, and you can see the number of pictures are missing on that as well. Of course, I can't say much, but I'm missing a lot. So there's Camaro. You can see here. I don't see that red one, so that's not on there with the McDonald's Tampo on there. A Z28 in metallic gold, black. I've never even seen that. Cannonade. So, but my point is, it's not exclusive. There's a lot. Somebody's spent some time on this in the last 6 months, so there's actually more on there than I thought. But I know there's stuff that's going to be missing, so we'll get it all on there at some point. I know I've asked before, Ricky, do you collect more than just Hot Wheels, right? You collect other brands and stuff as well? If you're still here. I think you said yeah. There is a down the road, way down the road, if this thing takes off, if MVP brand takes off and can't afford to start hiring people, have a plan to break off and have an MVP like Matchbox or Auto World or like all the Greenlight, and then hire a person for that knows like I know the Hot Wheels stuff, and start putting that information in, like pretty good salary because it's pretty cool. But so if I can find like a Matchbox guru that has the time or wants to do put information in and put pictures in or something like that, or I'd even have I'll already have hired a picture person at that point, if we're getting to that far down the line. But then we can have all those different brands kind of under this umbrella, under the MVP brand. So that's a like way future, potential thing that could go on if this turns into something. Mostly Hot Wheels, so yeah. So I'm a 99.9% Hot Wheels person. And I don't collect anything else. I don't collect the other stuff. I just have some other stuff. I have some like Johnny Lightning Matchbox or Johnny Lightning Mustang that from cars I actually had, and an old like 65 or 64 or 66. I can't remember what year that one is. Like Ford F100, and I'm trying to think. I got a case back there. I got an Excursion from one of the like with the big tires and stuff on it. But not really collecting them. I just saw them and liked them and bought them. But I didn't try to track any of them, like all of them down or nothing. So, oh, what was I looking at on here? Playsets. So many playsets. There's a lot of exclusive cars, so I try to look at all the playsets to see information about cars. So you can see there. I think one of those cars is exclusive to that particular playset, but that'll be something to add on to all of the stuff here to the website. So, what's your favorite car, Ricky Bobby? Since you're the only one in here so far, top fan, number one. You're the number one fan, and number one putting in chat. What's your favorite car? Man, I'll tell you, putting these 57 Chevys in, it is taking forever. I'm on the NASCAR stuff, so got info. I get the description of this put in. I gotta take the picture, but I'll do it once I get in that. So I think I have all the mini truck stuff in. Let's go in there. Mini truck, Sonic Special. Let's see. So let's make sure these are all loose. So I got 30 different mini trucks in there. Got chrome grill inserts, got black grill insert, chrome grill on the hot ones. I didn't really look on these for the grill inserts. These may have that feature as well. Let's see, do I have everything in here? I'm missing one. Oh yeah, missing tinted window with the 5 holes. I think I need to update this. I got some more. I think I got some more of those now. Am I missing anything on here that you know? You're adding your collection now. Let's see. No, that's the final run. So I think I have at least have all of the main variations. If I'm missing something, let me know. And then what do you think about, I know everybody has their own cars they do special, like they collect beyond just what's available, like regular stuff, but what do you think about like all small wheel variations or something like that? Like if it won't happen, well, it could happen in some of these older ones, but like an all small wheel, 5-spoke, mini truck in orange or something. Do you want me to add that kind of stuff? I usually add it as long as it rolls, though. I think I had one of those. That was all small wheels somewhere. Oh, I had one wheel was small on the back. Variation including package variations. Yeah, that'll be something to add down the road. All these package variations. I just can't afford them. And I don't have all of the loose cars in, so I'm not even ready to start really going after putting package stuff in yet. Especially when you don't have a picture of them. As package stuff's pretty tough to accurately describe easily when you don't have the picture available for it yet. So, but yeah, that's another goal, is to have all of the package variation stuff in here as well. Pretty much anything Hot Wheels related will be in here, and I'm talking like anything. The buttons, the buttons you get in the 60s with the Spectre Flame cars, and then the new stuff, the newer like 25th anniversary stuff, like those buttons. There's 10 pieces that come with it. There's little figures that come with some of that stuff. I would like to see. Oh, if it's in the package from the factory? Gotcha. Not just loose. Yeah. Well, if we find, you know, a package in the, a car with all small wheels that's in the package, right? I take pictures of the package before I open stuff now and put it on here. So, like anything coming future wise, that would be on there if it came in the package. But for me, it's the small wheels thing. Like if it rolls, like I'm good with it as long as it makes sense, right? If it was, you know, an error where the large wheels are in the front and the smaller wheels are in the back, like we're not doing any like South Carolina like lean and stuff, because I know that's not what was the intention of it, like 100%. Even though you could say that the wheel well cut out for the back wheel is larger and therefore would accept a larger wheel, and that was the intention. I can get that, but it rolls. I don't know. That's just kind of how I am. Like if it was the intention of the way that it came out, I would put it on here if it was all right. But we could do like the Carolina squat, yeah. Um, but we could, down the road have like errors, so maybe people could submit errors, um, and that way people could see it. So like if you didn't have like an interior or something like that, but we'd have to do like package stuff. If you have it loose, I don't know. Like if it didn't have a wind, like especially these, I don't know, it'd be tough to get these out. But these actually you could pull these apart. Um, Unfortunately, I would say because it's got the J hook. So if you put enough pressure on the J hook, let's see if I have all three pictures here. So up in here, you can see where there's only one rivet. There's the base has a little J hook that clips in. If you pull that piece out, even though the front is riveted, you could pull it apart a little bit and potentially pull pieces out. And that's where it gets kind of shady when stuff is loose. I never tried it with this car. I'm trying to think, look where it's at in the back. Right, I think right here and right here. I don't have the I don't have any mini trucks up here with me right now. But anyhow, but in the package, if you had something, an error in the package, we could have a spot for that on the website, like submitted by the user or something like that, and you could go in and click, and say I want to see everything, like even errors, and that would come up. But you'd have to check that box to want to see the errors, so they don't just pop up randomly. There's a large and small Hot Wheels logo variation on the mini truck base. Which ones? I don't think it's all of them. I mean, I have a bunch. I don't have a bunch. I've had quite a few of these. Which ones? I think I remember seeing something. I want to say it's down like this era. There's a transition. But yeah, let me know. Not sure which ones of mine have them. Well, let me know which ones have them, and I'll go back and look at mine and see if any of mine have any differences. And then when I find them that they have a difference on like a major variation, like these, say it's these red ones, I'll put it next to here, and underline it and say, small Hot Wheels logo or large Hot Wheels logo. So if that is true, so we can add those if we got. I mean, we can go on low and cool series. That's down here, right there. Okay, that's not. Yeah, that's low and cool. Um, let's see if there's any on here. Let's see if we can find that. Alright, let's find a loose one. Because almost nobody shows the base of it in the package. Nope, there's no base pick. Establish the baseline here. It's kind of a cheap car, so. Alright, let's see here. So we've got Hot Wheels logo, passenger side, readable. Alright, so there's our baseline. So we'll see. Let's see if we can find another one. Oh, he's got a base pick. Oh, it's terrible. You can't see Shit. I can't tell nothing in that. So, there's another one here. See if we get lucky. Nope. It's got a nice picture, though. That's a pretty cool picture. Little background. Let's see. There's another one. There we go. So, there are different angles, but that one close to the there, that looks to be about the same. I'm not seeing any difference, but just in case, we'll leave that one open. There's another one, number 3. Oh, he's got a base pick. That looks to be the same. Alright, we got a little bit of space above and below. There's no outline. The R's up to the right. Malaysia coming off the bottom of the R. That's certainly the case for that one. That looks like the case for that one. So the normal seems to be that way. Can we find a different one? Running out. This is what I do when I'm doing research, is trying to find information that might be different. That one looks to be the same. Are you sure? I was thinking it was something to do with the Mattel Incorporated, though. Let's look at our Mattel Incorporated parts. That seems to be the same. You can't see shit there. That one looks the same. Try. Yeah, they all look the same so far. There you go. There's red car, blue car. Right there. Package differences. You got both of those. Any more loose? Not the greatest picture. I have all of mine in 2 totes and protectors. I can pull them out and get pics for you. Yeah, if you see something different, that looks smaller. That Malaysia looks small. Maybe it's just the way it's there, but it is. Maybe it is small. See, now I'm going to grab mine. See if I can find any differences. That's the problem when you do all cars. That on nothing. That's a good picture. That's nice and clean. Dang. Even with the zoomy. That seems to be the normal size so far also. That goes to that edge there. Hold on a second. Where did we say that one went? That one's different. There it is. See where the axle, this little hoop that protects the axle and the wheel? I have 34 variations of 78 I have listed on a spreadsheet. Dang, 34 of 78. I'm expecting package variations. So see how this one here ends right before the little axle protection plastic piece there. And this one does not go that far. So there we go. I'll make some notes. Mini truck. Small and large Hot Wheels logo on base. See, if we just have this collaboration with everyone and all the cars, we'd have the best Hot Wheels website all ever. And this guy's got a big hair in his there. Look at that hair. Whoop. Yuck. Although I can't keep from, it's pain. I feel like I take some pictures and I go to upload them, and I'll see the hair in my picture that I've taken, and now that I'm changing the background, I'm like, oh my gosh, it could be like an arm hair. I mean, it's crazy. They just, I mean, that's a little longer than, well, I don't know, maybe that could be a long hair, but, or an arm hair. But yeah, it's kind of a pain. But yeah, there's that one. So we got to add some um, logo size differences on these cars. So I'll go look at mine and find out what I have. But I definitely know the Lou and Cool has it, and I could do some search for the other one. So chrome black grills, wheels, and mostly package card variations. My hair is halfway down my back, so I can't say anything. Yeah, I don't know. It sneaks in there sometimes. I'll take a picture, and I won't catch it. You know, as I'm taking the picture, I'm more focused. Is the car like in the center of the picture? Am I at the close enough angle that it's the same as the other ones? Like all that stuff. Does the lighting look okay? Am I seeing everything? And then I'll move that on, and I'll start to look at change it, do the background stuff, and then right there, boom, there's a hair. I'm like, oh, that's gross. Nobody wants to see that on the website. Go retake the picture. So it happens. It's not always a bad hair. So, we got outbid. Dang it. But yeah, that's cool. That was fun to track down. So now I know we have that. I got that to add to the website. So I'll go in there, and there's only the 3 spokes, so we know there's small and large Hot Wheels logo for that one. For those, and then since that's very minute, I'll take some extra pictures of it, and then I'm trying to think, should I make notes on the picture? I don't know. We'll see. When I get to that, we'll see. It says we got 3 viewers. Where's the other viewer? I think one's me, and obviously Ricky's on. So who's the 3rd viewer? What does my other thing say here? Let's pop back to that. Because we got 2 viewers, 8 views. Cool. Put a bunch of 57 Chevy stuff on Facebook after I get pictures done. So usually I put up what I can. There's a lurker. They're not actually watching. They're not clicked into it, but their screen has scrolled to it. So I do that sometimes when I'm watching some Facebook stuff. I'm not dedicated to come in quite yet on some of them. And since I haven't really been buying for a while, like certainly I don't want to be enticed. Like if I watch an auction, especially like on Facebook or something, man, and if the car's like super cheap, it's usually worse if when I have the car and I paid more than what it's being bid at, I'm like, I gotta save that one. I gotta get that. And I don't even need it. I already have it. But it's less than what I paid for. Like, it plays tricks on my mind. It's kind of crazy. So I don't want to go in any auctions. And I usually do it also to find information. So I'm always asking, and I'm sure they're annoyed at me sometimes. Like, what was the base? Can you show the base again? Because I know there's some of those cars have base variations, so I want to know which one it is or whatever. I also try to let them know, like, hey, that one does have a base variation. So that way, if somebody wasn't interested but does base variations, now they might be interested because they're like, oh, I have that car, and then they're like, wait, there's 2 or 3, and so they might also bid on it, which may get the seller a little bit more money. So he should be thanking me. But hey, look, there we go. Number 2, Aaron. Whoop whoop. Showed up right after he said Aaron would pop in. Here's Aaron. That's crazy. So we determined, well, Ricky already knew, but he shared with me there's a base variation on the mini truck. So I found the orange base one with clear windshield from the all oranges one. The orange base one with clear windshield from the all orange one. The all orange with clear window. Which wheel? Clear windshield. They all have clear windshield. Or are you talking about this one? You found this one. Meant orange base and clear windshield. You talking about this one here? This mini truck? You found this with the clear window? Dang, we got two main mini truck collectors. What are the odds? The Roaring Rod one with orange base. Yeah, you found that with a clear window. Dang! Alright, we're going to have to do a video to see if this comes apart very easily and if we could change these windows out. Did you find it loose or did you find the package? Tan with orange base with clear windshield. Yeah, he's verifying. He's like, what? Another one? But I'm going to write that info down. Orange base, clear window. So, you're at, what, 79 now? Sweet. So now we got another one packaged for like $5. And you want to donate that to MVP Hot Wheels so it can be on the website? Is that what I heard? I'm just kidding. They didn't know what they had. Yeah, it's hard to find all this stuff. I mean, especially, if you are a sole mini truck collector or something small, or, only have like 5 castings, you can find all sorts of stuff. I mean, I love those other people that collects like one thing, like Porsche lovers, right? They find tons of stuff. Or a Ferrari lover, right? They find minute casting things. And if it was, if you got somebody that's like really goes after something, they're looking. So I'll get it out and take photos. Hey, you got a Miata? Yeah. I know. I got a Miata. I think the difference in price on the Miata and that one may be a little bit different, but we could talk about it. I'd love to see. Yeah, especially it's in the package. That's good. That's cool. Dang, now I got something else to look for. Well, how many variations we got on here so far? So there's 30 on here right now. We're going to add some base variations. So there may be 3 or 4 trucks with base variations. And now we have another clear window. Or window variation. Dang. That's just one casting. We're just talking about one casting here, and we're adding some stuff. He says it's in my list. So, Aaron, if you haven't heard, if you have logged into the website in the last year, or if you've made an account, I put on some free time for everybody that logged in the last 2 years to be able to use these collection buttons and stuff. And I should have brought my tablet over here and logged into my tablet to see if, so I don't have to change everything, but see if you had logged in. But if you log in to the website, you can go in and certainly add all these to your collection if you got all these. But anything else I have on there. Trying to get some people kind of going on the website so we could start having some money return and we can put more into development to make it more robust. So hopefully we get some takers. That way, especially if we get to like 50 subscribers, we can start doing a giveaway a $50 giveaway, and it'll go up with the number of subscribers. So, and then I think once it gets to like 50 or maybe 100 subscribers, then I think at that point I'll be able to start funding the app crossover so that it can turn into an app that you can get download on your phone, and then add the functionality of the auction house. And then that should help it explode once we have all that kind of set, because then you'll be able to put stuff up for sale on the auction house, and then it'll go out to all the people that have it in their wanted list, like this wanted list. Here's my wanted list. See, no pictures. So, looking for Top Eliminator French release that is white or dark green for the Italy release. So, hey, you gotta have priorities, man. 4Runner is pretty cool. I remember I used to work at a used car lot back in high school. This is a long time ago. For a guy named C.T. Hansen. Perfect, used car lot name, C.T. Hansen. And we got a 4Runner in, and it needed new carpet and stuff. So, as a teenager in high school, that was one of my bigger projects working at this place. So I took all the seats out and everything, and we put in new carpet, and we did some other stuff to it. It was, I think it had been repainted at one point because it was it was a red color, but it was not it didn't seem like a factory color, but it was done nicely. Like it was taken apart and painted. But we went in there and put in some new carpet and cleaned up all the seats, and I did all the detailing and everything out of it and put it back together. So it was kind of fun. Last year of the straight axle and first year of the fuel injection. Gotcha. Nice. My 4Runner. You both have 4Runners? The two people that are on this auction, oh my gosh, on this live video, mini truck fans, and both have 4Runners. Do you guys talk to each other before? One of you found this, and the other one's like, you gotta check out this YouTuber. That's Hot Wheels Collector. That's kind of crazy. One's got a 98 and the other one's got an 85. Well, I've got an Excursion, and I love that thing, which is same concept, just bigger. Nope, never. Yeah, I love my Excursion. I got a 2005 Excursion. It's the last year. They only come with straight axles on those. They didn't convert in 2005 with the F250 converting over to the spring lift in front. So I also have a pretty rare Paseo convertible. Paseo. What the heck is? I don't remember that. What's Paseo? Oh, dang. Okay. Check that little thing out. That's kind of cool. One year as well. I'm assuming this is the year, if that's the only year. Gotcha. Nice. Yeah, I've got 4 trucks, and they're all Ford. I got the 2005 Ford Excursion. We got a 2004 F350. That was a crew cab dually, and now it's a single wheel, all-wheel or full drive. I've got a 1997 F350. They're all diesels. This one's 7.3 liter power stroke. This one's a crew cab long bed. And then I have a 2004 F250 that is needing some work, and it's lifted 8 inches and stuff like that. So, 88 Ford van. I wouldn't mind getting a van, although it'd have to be with a diesel. It'd have to have a 6-liter diesel in it, and then 4-wheel drive. So that'd be like in the 2000s, just for fun, just to throw a little lift on it and take it out trail somewhere maybe. $520. What else do we want to talk about? Like I said, I was going to let the chat kind of go wherever it wants to go. I've kind of outspoke the website and where I want to go with it. Unless you guys got ideas on it, what I could do and work towards. I'm always open to ideas. I don't know if anybody was here when I was talking about how everybody wants a really cool website, but nobody wants to tell me what it is or what they want it to do. Believe me, I have asked over and over again, like, what could the website be? How could it be better? I know there's lots of things that could be better. A lot of it costs money, but I usually don't get very many responses. What other? Let's look at some other ones. Now we know what we're looking for. Well, I appreciate that. You think I'm killing it? I need everybody else to think that. So, it's like, I just wanted to, be the place where people go. And it just, like I said, I put in probably $20,000 into it so far. It doesn't seem like it. When I look at it now, I'm just like, where did that go? But there's about 20 grand into it now. And have a vision of probably another, what my vision is probably going to cost another 30 grand to bring the light. Let's see if this one's got a picture. It does. That's got the bigger base on that one. Which one is that? Okay. So that's the Street Art series. Let's see if we can, let's put that up here. Collect first-gen Camaros, Volkswagen, Beetles and buses, Porsche square bodies, mini trucks, and Kyle Petty number 44. Nice. If I didn't, well, so if I were making the website, I would be a sole blackball into the 90s collector number stuff, like anything from 77 to 2000, any casting would be is my bread and butter. Is probably where I would be if I just did castings. I do the Mountain Dew casting, so Mountain Dew Stalker, that casting. I have what I believe is every 1970 Plymouth Roadrunner. And there's some tough ones in there, so that would be one of the castings. I've gone after the Avtec, the Vector Avtec WX3. So there's three different castings. 1970 Plymouth Superbird casting. So that's 4. And the Turismo, that would be 5. If I did 5 castings, those would be the 5 castings I probably did. You have some pretty rare Kyle Petty promo. I bet there's some oddball stuff out there if you know what you're looking for. And I bet there's so much NASCAR, like it just would blend in. So I could see how you could find some some rare stuff for a pretty good deal on that. Because I feel like the NASCAR stuff is, like, when I'm looking at it, like I've watched, NASCAR and stuff, especially, in the 90s stuff. I don't know. I don't know what's what. I feel like there's a lot of it, but there's not. It's hard when they're, despite them being different colors and having a different number, they're all the same. So when you have a bunch of stuff that's similar like that, it's hard to point that stuff out. The new Matchbox Excursion casting coming out soon? I have not. Let's see what we got here. That's pretty cool. I'm going to have to get one of those. Yeah, see, I would do that. 2004 Ford Excursion. It's almost the same. Mine's a blue over gold. The one that I have. That's pretty cool. I'll have to look out for that. What's this other stuff? What's that? Oh, Expedition. Expedition. Gotcha. Sweet. Yeah, I'm going to have to pay attention to that. Yeah, the Excursion is the biggest one. The biggest SUV produced. And then, you know, the Suburban was like just sort of it. I mean, it wasn't much of a difference, but they did. You know, it was the biggest one. Um, Expedition now. I mean, the Expedition now is you can get the Expedition Max or whatever. It's pretty close to the size. They don't have all that, and you know, it doesn't come with a diesel. I'm sure it comes with 4-wheel drive, but you can't get the diesel in it yet. If they make a new one, if they made a new Excursion, they came out with an actual Excursion with the 6.7 liter Power Stroke in it, I would buy it. It'd be like $130,000 probably, but I'd have to sell all the all the other trucks just to get that, which I can't do because I need the fifth wheel for one of the trailers. You found your first Matchbox Super Chase last week at Walmart, and a 911 Safari. Dang. 2026 A case. I have never found a super treasure hunt in the wild. I also don't look very often. I'm not a, just like gambling, I'm not a big gambler. I'm not a gambler, I guess, at all. I don't like to gamble. I don't like to potentially put money up where I don't win anything. So I feel like it's how it could be when you go searching for Hot Wheels at the store. For that specifically, right? If I were to say I'm gonna go look for supers every day and I didn't get it, I feel like now I've spent my time and money and I have nothing to show for it. And so if I just want to go get Hot Wheels, I just go get Hot Wheels. Like if I want some new stuff, I'd go to we got the dollar store. We got two dollar stores here in this small town with one stoplight. There's two different dollar stores here. Go figure. But I just go to those and see if they have any. They usually don't have too much, but you can go there and definitely get cars. So that's not like a gamble. But if you were specifically trying to go to get stuff like that, I don't know. I'll just wait. I feel like the money I save from not doing it, I could just buy it on secondary market, like Pokemon packs and sports cards. Yeah, at least the packs will be there. You just don't know if anything's gonna be in them. But if you're collecting Pokemon, I mean, if you're only trying to get those cards, that would be you could definitely waste a bunch of money on that. My our youngest son collects Pokemon. I'm not sure what he's doing. He just wants Pokemon cards. I don't know that he knows which ones are rare or not. But he knows the ones that have been talked about, so he wants those. Dang, he found all kinds of stuff. He must go often. I don't have that kind of luck. I have like negative luck. Oh yeah, that was the only thing I've ever had happen like that. But I bought the whole case though, right? And yeah, I guess that was that was ideal. I mean, you saw the excitement when I did that. Uh, so so that happened. That was some luck. So I don't. I need to get the. I need to get. Well, once I get financially set, we'll be doing that. I want to do some more stuff, but I gotta get this house started. The Super was at my local Dollar General about a mile. Yeah, the Dollar General right here is only like 3 blocks away, and I rarely go because it doesn't have much. It usually doesn't have nothing. Um, when it's warmer out, it's easier to go, especially when it was warmer out, like in the summer, and I would walk there with my son or the other, or if my daughter was here for like summer, we would walk over there and I would look. So, so I don't even know what's out there in the new stuff right now. I am lost in the world of 57 Chevys right now. Like that is all I know. 57 Chevys. Till I get those done. Yeah, once the bills are paid, once the debt is paid off, and the house is going, yeah, things will be a little better. I'll have some money put in the website. I'll be able to get some stuff a little bit more, and then we'll be rocking. But that's like legit 2 years to get all that set right there. But I need to do it, right? Otherwise, it'll drag out and it'll never get done, and I'll just be living in debt all my life. It's I've done enough of. So we're done with that. So, but if we need to, advance the website, if we want to advance that, like I said, subscribers, all that money goes back into it. I send that money right to the developer if anything comes in and say, these are things I would like to look at. What do you mean? You want to send me pictures of it? That'd be cool. You don't have to send it to me. I don't want nothing to happen to it. I feel like when you send, if we did that and something happened, I would feel like super responsible for it, and I don't want that. But if you want to send me pictures of it, um, I can tell you, I take my pictures. I know I'm kind of um, crazy about it, but it makes it work. Everything work. I do it for a reason. Um, I have an iPhone, right? So here's my iPhone. I take pictures, and when I do it, let me go back into here so I can explain this correctly. All right, go to the camera. At the top, it allows you to pick your what's that called? Profile? I don't know what it's called. But anyways, I'm allowed to go and change it to square from 4.3. So I move it to square because I put square pictures on that way. They're all even. They're all exactly the same. And then I do it at 1.8 zoom because the software that I use, if it's too large, it doesn't work very well. If the picture is too large, and that seems to be a good clear image. But if you were to take pictures that way, I would take them and use them for the website. Um, but yeah, he said send it to me and I'll get excellent photos of it for. So yeah, I'm I'm game for it. If we could drop it, if we could hand it off, that would be different, right? If I could take possession of it, from your hand, that would be different. Like I would, that will, I just take pictures right there, and then you can have it right back, right? But send it in the mail, I just feel like something would happen to it. Ooh, and if it did, then who's to blame? I mean, either one of us would be there to blame, but one would be upset. I would be frustrated. So no sense in going down that path. But but for pictures that I don't have, that's kind of the requirement. You gotta have. I think you have to have an iPhone, but you have to put it in square mode. Center that picture in. I do 3 pictures of all cars, right? If we come into this, right? 3 pictures of all cars, so kind of a 45 showing the front corner here, 45 from the back. This is kind of less, it's like a 30-degree angle. Um, and then the base pick straight on as best I can in the center. And I would add those pictures, but I don't like asking people to go into minute detail on how to take a picture when they're doing a favor for me. So I usually don't ask people to do it, but that's how I would take them, because that's how I put them in, and that's how I use. And the software is pretty easy. Um, it's just remove.bg, so I just put it in here. So upload this, it'll take out the background, and then I add my background, and then I upload it back into the website. So, but this way it keeps all the pictures the same size, so I don't have any issues with formatting when it goes on the website. Because sometimes before, like when I take my pictures, like if we look at some um, older pics, do I have any older pics? I think I retake all these. Let's take that off. Let's go find an older pic. Dang. Should have put it in Blackwall. I will. Blackwalls. Or FiveSpoke. That'll work. FiveSpoke will work. 700 of those. Yeah, so like this here, see how it moves everything? So this isn't lined up with the picture. This is moved up. That's why I take square pictures, just to make sure they're full of, put the full space. This is centered with the picture, and this, so that's why I do it. But yeah, because I got a phone, I got iPhone. You hate it. It is what it is. I mean, I use it as it is. Photo based on what's on the website now. You should be able to create a similar photo based on the, oh, yeah. Should be able to. That's kind of my way I do it right now. If there was a faster way, I would definitely go the faster route. And you can see, like, the picture does look much better. I mean, I was literally taking pictures right here in front of the thing here. So if we look down, here's where I was taking the picture before, and it was just faster. I could take a bunch of pictures. Now I might have been pointed at myself. Really quickly. I'd take one of each car and move along, and try that way I could get at least some type of image. Because some of these, like, this has a square and rounded, but you know what the car is really easy without having to read anything. That was kind of the idea, is like get as much in as you could in the beginning, and now I'm like, well, just go ahead and take the 3 pictures because it's more complete. I don't have to go back in and waste the time of figuring out which ones I had or hadn't taken pictures of and all that kind of stuff. So this is like tons of hours of getting to this picture here. So, but I'm thrilled. I can't wait to see this thing in all of its glory. I think it's going to be like better than everything else that's out there. I mean, this is just information of cars right now. Which isn't too bad, but these cars come in different packages. So like this would be like a Speed Demon or Ultra Hots package. So I want to be able to, show all the Ultra Hot packages. Like, so I'll have all that kind of stuff built out. Those are more traditional pages. Like this is a database being filtered through these filters here and displaying it in this way. But I mean, there'll be a more traditional way of going and drilling down into the cars as well, where you kind of go to the front page here, and instead of having this info here, it would basically be like, package cars, loose cars, play sets, multi-packs, and then you would open that up, and then, the multi-packs would have like 2-pack, 3-pack, 4-pack, 5-pack, 6-pack, all that kind of stuff broken out that way. So you would click on what you want, so like 5-pack, and then you would go, which style of 5-pack are you looking at? Are you looking at the vertical? Are you looking at the horizontal? Are you looking at some combination thing? Like, or it would have like all the list of names of 5 packs. So then you click on that, the name of the 5 pack, like Hot Wheels, racing or whatever race team, and then all the different cars that come in that. Like there's so many ways to drill down, but you got to build all that out. That's the idea. Was if I put it all in um, this format, I could have it do it automatically for me in all the different views. So like if we want to look at any series, let's see what I have in there for low and cool series. So if I go like low and cool series, I only got 3 of the 4 cards in, but you can see the 3 of the 4, or you can see the low and cool series. But what I like to do, instead of having like this thing up here, like show like the name and the way that they kind of made it, like low and cool series, and some information about it, like came out in 1996 or 7 or 8, I can't remember which one, 97 I think. And then there's 4 cards in the series. These are the 4 cards, and then you have the information below, and then you also have you could kind of click between loose and package stuff or whatever. So there's so many ways to get to information that I thought this would be the easiest way to get all the information in there initially, and then find a way to view or show that information in different ways down the road. So that was kind of the way I was going with it, and it works out fairly well. It just takes a lot of development when you want to do it a different view, right? You have to develop that whole page, but then once it's built, that view works for, say, like all these 4 card series. Like you would say, this is a page for all the 4 car series, available from 1995 to 1999 or 2003 until they went into like 5 car series or whatever, whichever, right? Like here's all these cars, but there's other ways to get that, right? You could go in and say like collector number series, and then like 1997, and then low and cool series, or just series in general. Like there's so many ways to get to there, and I want to try to provide different ways for people that have a mindset of how they go through there. So, talk in the future, bring on people on the lives and do a show and tell, or even I think so. Yeah, we could do stuff. I'm starting to see that 2 different YouTube channels are able to join up together. So I know I think you, Ricky Bot, you have a YouTube channel, right? Like we could go on there, and I could bring you on through your YouTube channel, and both of our channels would be showing that we're doing a live, and then we could have conversations that way. So that'd be kind of cool. We could figure that out. That'd be awesome. Because if I go back into, I don't want to get into the political side of it, but that's kind of what I watch on some of the YouTubes. But they've been doing that, so it shows like 2 different main YouTube channels, and they come on together, and it actually shows the name when you're looking at that. So don't you need Streamlabs or StreamYard? I don't know what they need. I have no idea. I haven't done any of that stuff. This is new to me with OBS Studio, doing it this way. And this is the second, obviously yesterday was kind of like the test to figure out and play with it a little bit. So I don't have any idea how to do that part yet, but I'm sure it's all, searchable. And if we could do it through, whichever, we could try to figure it out. But if I got to get another tool, another streaming service, I just learned this one. And I don't enjoy learning this kind of stuff. I just want to do it. I enjoy learning about Hot Wheels, not this. Yeah, I got to get a new webcam. And I want to get a webcam that's separate, that points down on the desk here, so that if I wanted to show cars off, like right now, if I wanted to do it, I could do it this way. I can make my picture bigger on the screen, and then come up and kind of show the car. But yeah, but I want another. If I had a third one, I could just click a button and it would pop up instead of me having to resize it and do this stuff. We could do it that way. So webcams in 4K are like $40 to $60. It looks like for a decent one. So I'd get another webcam, have it set up on the desk, and then I can have it point, at the desk, and then that way when I'm showing stuff off, kind of in front of me, maybe I can put it on the desk going forward, looking at the stuff on the desk. Um, it's a little easier to manipulate the vehicle and show the vehicle off and stuff like that. So I'll be looking at doing that, um, maybe the next couple of weeks. So once I settle on which webcam I think will work best. So yeah, I could scale it. Like, I mean, I can do this one. That's what I'm saying. I just needed a separate one. This camera's not very good. For I don't even remember how long I've had it for, but I can scale. Like this particular view of it, or I can, you know, change the view on this one. Let's see here. Yeah, like I can change this view on here. So if I had a third camera angle, I could bring it in. Like I could turn this one off. I can turn myself off. Right? I could bring in a third camera view and show the stuff that I want to see. So I can do that with this particular streaming tool or OBS Studio, whatever it is that I'm streaming on from. But I just need a better camera view with you know, 4K seems to be pretty normal. Like when I did that search earlier. Yeah, see, there we go. So 40, 50, like these are 4K. That's 1080p. What is that? See, that's 4K. Oh, I just gotta find something that's will work pretty good. I'm running out of USB slots though, so I gotta figure that part out to get a little USB splitter or something. Dang, what's all going on there? That's only $23. You would think that would be, I don't know, a lot of show and maybe no go. But so I'll get something like that where I can put it on the desk here, which has enough height to be able to show stuff. Maybe something like that. I don't know. We'll see. So that I can do my shows from here and be able to display different things. So like when I'm adding new cars. So if we come back out of this and go into the 57 Chevy, and I want to do a video, and I'm like I did my set 'em free video, right? So let's go to page 3. I think it was in, or I can have this up and go through. So this is the 4 cars that I opened today. Like I could have this up, and then I could bring these up over to the desk, and then click over to my camera that I could show the stuff on my desk and show the cars or stuff like that a little bit, and do it all together. And then I put this stuff up on Facebook. So if I go over to my Facebook group here and go to MVP Hot Wheels, you'll see like there's the video, there's the JC Whitney stuff, there's the Editor's Choice, Kyle's opening his stuff, the casting differences. So here's some of the, there we go, there's the 3, and then I was going to open that. So then if we look at like the set 'em free, here's the one that I needed stuff. So I can do all that on one video, without having to change it and do all that kind of stuff. They have the ones now that track your movements, but they seem like more of a pain. Yeah, I don't know what I would need it to track my movements for. I don't know. Thanks. That was fun. I was learning. I was kind of going over some stuff. Cause I thought about some of this stuff before I did the video. Obviously, I went through and it was like, hey, check this out. This one's got a flat hood, and this one's got little scoop things on it. I knew about the one on the back, the casting into the back. I haven't done anything with that yet or put any information on the website yet. But then when you pull the convertibles and the color effects ones and the other stuff, and you start looking at different things like that, and seeing that there's a difference there, or the McDonald's one. I mean, there's different casting, which is kind of expected. A lot of those castings are different from McDonald's. But that was fun. See, if we could have done that live and gone over some of that stuff, I think it would have been a better video. Have some interaction from people that were watching. Um, so, but from over there, I can't go live very easily, other than doing it on my phone, and then I don't have a lot of control over some of the stuff there because it's just on my phone. And I don't have a way to see if anybody makes a message or does anything in the chat or whatever very easily either. So this way would be much better if I had a third camera and just boop did it. So, ooh, but so many cars, so many 57 Chevys, and I'm not even close to being done. I've got a lot more to go. I don't know how far I'm gonna go. Like that one's ready to go in. That's the NASCAR one. Boop, right there. I got the other two. I got to put the info in, and then I was gonna take the picture of those. So that was. Where's the fourth one that I was gonna put in with this? I usually try to do it in fours because they look. The 4 pictures on the Facebook thing looks pretty decent, but 3 looks terrible. Some say not enough. Yeah, I'm sure they do. There's room for plenty more, I'm sure. But when you're putting that info in, man, it is. It takes a while. I've been doing it for, I don't know, 6 or 7 days. I mean, I was working Wednesday, Tuesday, and stuff, but Thursday I was putting in stuff. Friday I put in stuff. Saturday, today's Sunday, I put in stuff. So much. And I already had some stuff in, so I wasn't even starting from scratch, and I'm still like going crazy. Just taking apart a transfer case, but got my Bluetooth and listening. Nice. Oh, so well, we're almost done. I'm gonna go eat dinner here in a little bit. But we can do videos. Like I said, I'll get another camera, and then that way I can do more of these kind of live videos of stuff. Maybe we can do the Sunday Set 'em Free as part of the live, and then that would be the intro, and then we just kind of break out into whatever the chat falls into from there. I think that would be pretty cool. And then I can have cars next to me where I can bring them up onto the desk here, and we can kind of go over some stuff. Like maybe we'll once I get the third camera, maybe the first thing we'll do is go over the mini truck or Sonic Special differences, right? We can pull that up and show, and I can go over the ones that I found so far, and then you guys can chime in and let me know the other ones that are available out there, and we can get this stuff onto the website so it's has all that info on there for everybody. And yeah, super excited to see that Roaring Rod's mini truck with the clear window on the orange base there. That'd be cool. Yeah, I don't know if you're on the Facebook thing, but you can send it over there. But I think this live format will be a little bit more fun. I feel like then I'm, communicating to somebody that can provide some feedback on real time instead of I know I get the great videos and some of that kind of stuff, which is cool, but it's more fun to just have an actual conversation. And if we can figure out how to bring Ricky Bobby on in his channel, we'll do that too. That way we have 2 people talking and make it even better. So, but I think that would be about it for tonight. Unless you guys got anything else you want to go over real quick. Otherwise, I think we'll call it a night. And like I said, I'll order another camera. I'll get that set up, and we'll do a live next Sunday at least. So I'll try to do this every Sunday, and it'll just be what it is. If it's just sitting here and chatting about Forerunners, then we'll chat about Forerunners. It don't matter. So, but appreciate you guys joining and talking, putting some stuff out, and then we'll do it again sometime. So thanks guys, and I'll see you later.